decisions were quite harsh against us because they were making very strong physical contact. The referee seemed to take it out of us. But we battled on, and thanks to a great team display we got there.
What were those last 45 minutes like for you on the bench?
They dragged, I'm telling you. When Mal went off, they absolutely dragged. We had to bring Tommy Cassidy in for McElroy. We had to bring Sammy Nelson into a semi-left half position because young Norman was running out of energy. The skipper here kept going. Jerry was marvellous, a lovely goal. Pat was super in goal. They all did marvellous.
Martin, marvellous performance.
I think it's the greatest victory since 1958 for Irish football. But to me, it's the greatest victory of all time.
Here's the man himself, Jerry Armstrong. What do you remember about the goal, Jerry?
Very little. Yeah.
It was one of our few breakaways. We got it early on in the second half, and I broke away down the right-hand side and played a ball through to Billy Hamilton. He battled well for it, got inside the full-back and pulled a great ball across. The keeper palmed the ball out to him, and I just hit it as it came. Could you sense you were going to get one? You've always got a chance of getting one, but I mean, they were trying to intimidate us, and that made us even more determined, you know. I mean, we were very unlucky. A player getting sent off was a ridiculous decision, you know. But we battled through it, and we showed what sort of character and spirit the team has. Martin, let me ask you about Mal Donaghy's sending off. What did you think?
Very harsh, to say the least. A little bit of an incident. I'm not even sure what happened. The next thing I thought, Mal was turning in this direction. He probably threw out a hand, nothing else, gesturing more than anything, and suddenly we're down to 10 men. I can't believe it. We've lost him for a game, I believe, now, which is absolutely ridiculous.
But anyway, you must go ahead now in confidence, both of you.
Yeah, probably win the World Cup.
Thanks, lads. Thanks very much.
Well, now we're going to leave the stadium to come back to the studio. And in fact, we now know the 12 nations through to the second phase that begins on Monday. In Group A, the qualifiers Belgium, Poland and the Soviet Union. In Group B, playing in Madrid, England, Spain and West Germany, and England's opening matches against West Germany on Tuesday night. Group C, Argentina, Brazil and Italy are the qualifiers. And in Group D, the qualifiers to play in Madrid again, Austria, France and that magnificent Northern Ireland side. A really famous victory tonight, absolutely outstanding. And sitting back and enjoying it enormously have been our studio guests, Laurie McMenemy and Garth Crooks, making as much noise as the Irish fans. And also Jimmy Hill, well, he was inviting people to go and knock on walls and bring their neighbours in to watch it, wasn't he? And it was well worth it too, wasn't it, Lloyd?
Well, we weren't sitting back really, we were jumping
sitting
up
back
and
and cheering, yeah.
That's right, but I watched Billy Bingham there, and he looked a bit like the manager of Peru at the end, and he's 71, I think, and he's Peru or Chile or somebody, Tim. And I felt for him because you just thought maybe that referee would do something silly again, but, you know, they climbed the mountain. They had to climb it, and they've climbed it, and they've stuck their flag right on the top. And I'm not ashamed to say I got it wrong. I didn't think they could do it, and I'm delighted for them. They're lovely people, the Irish, and we've played over there, and they deserve everything they've got. I think it's tremendous.
We both got it wrong, and I take my hat off to them. As a player, watching players, you will not see a better team performance. They were magnificent.
And of course, that battle with 10 men.
Well, 10 men down,
wasn't it?
Yeah. With 10 men down, I honestly thought that they were going to lose the game.
I think it's got to be said, mate, that Spain are not a Brazil or an Argentina or an England at all. They didn't look a team. I thought they had good individuals, and I thought it was a credit to Ireland in the first half that Spain started to use the methods that they did, the kicking and the pushing and whatever. And it was very hard for the referee, but I thought he could have been better in the long run. I only hope the referee in the second stage is better than it has been in the first.
Just look at the Irish fans and how they deserve these moments of joy.
It's great to see, David, because they've paid a lot of hard-earned cash to go to Spain and follow the side, and they've got the rewards, and I'm delighted for them the same way I'm for the players.
They make themselves heard as well tonight. You know, at the beginning, people were remarking on the tremendous atmosphere and the noise and the pressure it brought, and then at the end, you could hear the Irish, and you see how many there was, a little handful.
Yeah.
And it was tremendous. And all the coaching manuals and all that, it's rubbish tonight, you know. Like Jimmy Hill said, it was like forwards versus defence. And I was saying, kick it in the tyne, and you know, under pressure. And it doesn't matter about coaching tonight, it's about the heart and about the result and the end product.
I was with that team in 1958 when they qualified for the last eight,
yes.
captained by Danny Blanchfield. Some great characters in that side. And that was a marvellous team performance to get through to the last eight, which they did then. But I think this has even surpassed that.
Well, I mean, what about Pat Jennings to go there again in that stage? And big Chris Nicholl, I've got to be, you know, a bit selfish about Chris, who plays for me. And it's not his strength actually coming away out the box. He didn't have any option tonight. He was stuck in there, and everything came to his head, and he was great under pressure.
At the same time, Dave, we must remember that those players are generally second, third division players, and they have done a great job tonight for British football.
Right, well, Jimmy Hill's joined us now. Jim, what a night.
What a night indeed, David. I think there might be a bottle of Guinness drunk before we go to bed tonight out here.
Not by you, I hope, Jim.
They're so excited. They were excited beforehand. They had a kind of confidence which maybe we lacked, but they certainly knew what they intended to do and went out and did it. But a lot of credit to Billy Bingham for coaching. I mean, although we say it wasn't a planned win, in many ways it was, because they did stand up as defenders and resist the temptation to fly in and give silly free kicks and penalties away. And I think a lot of that credit goes to Billy Bingham. I was most impressed with that. And players like David McCreary, who was an auxiliary left back, wants to come and play back in England. John McClellan, I mean, they did tremendously well. Chris Nicholl went to Sunderland, they didn't like him. I mean, Jimmy Nicholl, rather. And they were marvellous in the back four. The whole team ran well, but that back four were in a class of their own, quite stupendous.
Jimmy?
And he's played in a few positions for us at Spurs, and without doubt his best position is centre forward. And for me, he's been all over the park for...
You probably got rid of him.
Well, I didn't like to say that, actually.
I mean, when they signed you, they got rid of Jerry.
I'm trying to keep a very low profile there.
Actually, Laurie, we're all agreed the sending off looked very harsh. Let's have a look just what happened. I mean, it looked like just a bit of aggravation and a push.
Well, it was getting the nervous 90s here, wasn't it? Everybody was getting very excited. And Mal Donaghy is the Irish player going towards the line. And he's had a great season, won promotion. This was going to be his finest hour. And he's gone in there pretty unnecessary, really, because the ball was going out of play. And I think it's the next little bit that the linesman took exception to. The push off there, you see. Really, if he hadn't have done that, he's all right, because it was a 6 and 2 degrees before that. But he's just cracked a little bit there, has Mal Donaghy. And the linesman, I think, brought the referee over. And I'd just like to know what was said then. I mean, a good referee, a Jack Taylor, you know, a Pat Partridge, one of our senior referees that's done big games, would have just said to the linesman, OK, all right, well, just steady down, I'll handle it, you know. And they got up and said something to the player. But to get the red card, it was a tremendous shock.
I don't want to take anything away from the performance of Northern Ireland, but I find it strange. I mean, seeing what we saw, particularly in the first half, that they can, a simple situation like that didn't want anything more than perhaps a ticking off, gets a sending off decision. I'm very surprised.
Jimmy, there's been very, very strong criticism. Actually, I've just heard on the headphone that we've just got Pat Jennings, so we'll hear the view of the Northern Ireland goalkeeper. He's played it, what, over 90 times now for his country. Here's Pat.
Don't look up the clock.
Pat Jennings, 90-odd Irish caps, 37 years of age, but never surely a night like this.
Yeah, no, this is one of the most fantastic nights I think I've ever had, you know, and I've had a few.
Now, in the first half, they didn't trouble you too much, did they, really?
Just the first couple of minutes, they took one off somebody's foot early on, you know, and then we knew that if we could brave the storm for the first 15, 20 minutes, that we had a chance, you know.
For the second half, what a half for you?
Well, it was unbelievable. I thought Mal Donaghy was sent off for nothing, like, and we thought after that, like, there's no way we can hold out. But the lads, I've never known a bunch of lads like them for fighting, you know.
McCreary's went in at left back.
Well, everybody, you know, they played like giants tonight.
Did you expect, honestly, before the start for this to happen?
No way. To be honest, I didn't even expect to play in the tournament in the first place. I'd only played a game and a half or 2 games in the past 6 months.
You must be very pleased with your form, particularly tonight.
Well, keep the fingers crossed, going quite well at the minute.
Because I remember you said to me after the last game, you wouldn't talk until after the Spain game in case your luck changed, but clearly didn't, did it?
Maybe I shouldn't have talked after the next match.
Now, there was the one that bounced high just under the bar at the end, which looked a bit dodgy. How did you see that?
Well, no, Big Chris was running back towards me, and you couldn't hear anything. I was shouting for him to play it away, you know. And then once it bounced, I knew that he wasn't getting it. So I was afraid of a clash in there, so I just knocked it over the top of him and picked it up on the other side.
Were you ever really worried that they would really score?
Well, yeah, I thought it was only a matter of time. If they had got one, they probably would have got 3 or 4.
But the pressure was fantastic, wasn't it?
Don't want too many more like that.
Now, when Mal Donaghy was sent off, how did that trouble you at the back?
Well, we're up against it anyway, like, and then that's obviously more of a burden, like, and they're good at just playing the square player. But the boys defended brilliantly. With a little bit of help from the gods, I think, tonight.
Looking ahead, you must go ahead with a lot of confidence now.
Well, I don't know about confidence. We've got 3 or 4 injuries now tonight.
Who for instance?
Knox and that, you know, Mal Donaghy, Sammy Nelson, and obviously Mal, he can't play in the next match. So we'll just have to see how it goes over the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll be out battling again the next match.
But I think I can predict quite a night, can't I, in Valencia tonight?
Yes, yeah.
Pat, thanks very much indeed.
So, thank you.
What a night for the Irish. There won't be a player in this country, of course, who won't be pleased for Pat Jennings. He's one of the most popular players in the country. And now, while he wanted to play in the World Cup, now he finds himself in the second phase. Well, now, before we talk about that second phase, play begins. We've got 2 rest days coming up.